Hello everyone, watch this review here with my news and updates for the month of February 2012. If you're wondering what these vehicles are doing here, no reason, just unboxed them, had to put them somewhere, left them out on the table. Now we have something to talk about. If you weren't wondering what they're doing there, why weren't you wondering? Weren't you at least a little bit curious? Yeah, at some point I may or may not review these. In general, not a big Transformers reviewer, mostly because I really suck at the transformations on camera. And there's so many Transformers reviewers out there that do it a little bit better. But generally, I film the beginning, then I keep meaning to get around to actually reviewing them. So I have a lot of beginnings left over. Not a lot of endings, but news and updates, a little bit delayed this month. Kept meaning to get around to it, kept putting it off. I couldn't upload today because obviously today has a big sporting event. I, of course, am referring to the Puppy Bowl. It's 8th year, with its spectacular kitten halftime show. So, because of that, couldn't upload it today. I'm uploading it overnight for Monday. Of course, I'm not a big follower of the Puppy Bowl myself. I still don't understand the rules. It just looks like a bunch of puppies running around on a field, and I'm never quite sure who actually wins at the end, so yeah. Also not a big football fan. Otherwise, January, kind of big month for releases. A lot of new stuff hitting shelves. The Thundercats Classics, the new stuff, was starting to hit stores. I picked up the Mumra. Did we talk about that last month? No, I couldn't have, because it didn't come out till I didn't pick it up till then, but I picked up the Mumra, currently just holding on to it because I'm waiting to find a better copy in stores. I might just open it anyway because I don't really care. Also, a lot of people are getting their new Marvel Legends figures. Not me. Still nowhere close to being my area. I hit up Toys R Us, what was it, 2 or 3 days ago. Did not see anything there. Guy said, probably later in the month or whatever. It's like, whatever. No, it wasn't later in the month. It was like, they're going to do a reset in a few months. Meh. My Toys R Us sucks, though. That's the important takeaway from this. It really, really, really sucks. So I stopped in my local Toys R Us, and unfortunately, as mentioned, the Marvel Legends not in yet, but I did get the opportunity to order, free shipping and all, the She-Ra versus Supergirl pack from the Motok versus DCUCs, or is it vice versa? So I will be getting that, we'll be reviewing that. That is, of course, one of my favorite looks for Supergirl, because it's more based on the animated series, but while I was there, I also took the opportunity to pick up two other things. First off, one of the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 mini-mate packs, Zero vs. Magneto. Now, they only had 4 in stock. I previously passed on just because the quality assurance is, well, let's face it, they don't have quality assurance for this line. You run into so many random defects. In particular, some of them, the little crown thing on Zero's head there, I don't even know what you'd call that. I don't know, it does something, but like it was kind of off center with the two, and then the paint's just a complete mess. The white bleeds all over the helmet. But this was the best pack of the bunch, and this was a character I was hoping to pick up. The other really big pack I will be buying from this is going to be the Sentinel pack. I forget who he's packed with, but it doesn't matter because it's Sentinel. And Marvel vs. Capcom Sentinel is kind of what got me back into collecting. Also, I was just down one of the aisles and, ooh, an Eddie Guerrero figure. Now, typically I don't really pick up wrestling figures, but, partly it's because they use a sort of like generic looking build and stuff for a lot of the figures. There's not like a lot of muscular definition on the arms. It looks kind of funny, but in this case they do have a pretty good amount of definition and stuff. good amount of color toning, it looks like, and come on, it's Eddie Guerrero. Now, I was since like ever really huge into wrestling, but back when I was a kid, I was into a little bit, and then briefly between things like 2003 to 2000, like, well, up until around the point Eddie died, I was into it briefly, and Eddie Guerrero, definitely an awesome wrestler, great entertainer, taken from us much too soon. One of those rare instances where I felt really, really depressed when a celebrity died, and I don't ever really get really depressed when celebrities die, so that says something. These guys can sort of impact your lives in some strange way. Of course, I guess it's kind of different because they do live performances. No, actually, it was on SmackDown at the point that's pre-recorded. But I mean, wrestlers, typically do bring a lot more of their personality to the table than other types of actors and stuff. Because, they're, I don't know, it's more like improv work, I think. I could be mistaken. But yeah, I'll be definitely reviewing this at some point, and as well as this. Now, because the world is possibly, maybe, sort of, no, probably not, going to end in 2012, I finally am going to review this Iron Man this month at some point. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be a week from now, could be tomorrow, or a week from now, but I will definitely open and review it finally, especially because, all the new Marvel Legends stuff is coming out. It's just kind of nice to go back to the basics, to Series 1 of Marvel Legends, and look at stuff from there, back when Toy Biz was still running that stuff. Good old Toy Biz. Kinda miss them. Oh, just before I kind of forget, you probably realized or noticed it, or maybe you didn't, but the mini-mates that I was discussing a little bit earlier in this video, already uploaded a review for them, so probably thinking, why did I bother mentioning this in the video, but shot portions of this a bit ahead of time, stuff more recent, so it kind of goes like that. Speaking of the other thing from that little Toys R Us pickup, I just want to comment on the differences between the two sort of Mattel-produced lines here, the, I guess, WWE Legends, if that's actually what they're called, and, DC Universe Classics, because there's sort of interesting design aspects between the two. First up, $13 at Toys R Us for this dude. At Toys R Us, my local one, they want like 16 for DC Universe Classics. Frankly, given that, these are basically the same scale and stuff, it looks like, I don't really get that. But I mean, if you look at the design for these, they have normal, like, balls joints for the hips versus this little T thing or whatever. And then a point up here. But I mean, the more interesting thing is, like, the additional joints that they do for this other line. Like, all of them seem to have double joints at the knees, just singles here at the elbows. But more importantly, foot pivot. So I mean, if Mattel's doing foot pivot for other lines, I really don't get why they don't just make it standard for stuff like DC Universe Classics, especially where this was sort of being positioned as a counterpoint to like the Marvel Legends line, and traditionally a lot of the Marvel Legends figures did have foot pivot. So I mean, that's kind of lame. The other really weird thing is they handle the shoulders completely different. Like, you've got this really round ball, stupid round ball and stuff, and then the sculpting right up to it, whereas this part of the shoulder joint actually sculpted into the arm, so it looks like muscle. The other thing about that is, besides it looking better like that, the line on this just doesn't go as far, so you don't get as much range on the joint. And even when this is going in like this, I don't know if it's just the way that they sculpt the biceps or something. Maybe he's got like, yeah, actually he does have much larger biceps, but like, I was trying to pose the dude and stuff, and like, you just can't get his arm in front and stuff. It's just They didn't put enough space allowance and stuff, so he can't like put his hand behind his head or anything. Whereas the Hal Jordan has this ginormous range and he can like stick his whole fist on the other side. Granted, you'll probably never pose him like that, but it's just nice having that additional articulation. But in other ways, it's so similar where you've got the whole ab crunch, the waist joint, so forth. I mean, it's just interesting to see what they do for one line versus another, given that it's the same company, it's doing a sort of comparable product. Oh, and of course, you have to remember that he gets the special joints here at the wrists, sort of like a ball and socket or whatever, where it's like this little peg going up and then movement. So, I mean, stuff that some of the stuff I really wish they would incorporate into that, like most figures, which they have been getting a bit better on it, but some not so much. Moving this stuff aside, because I probably won't be doing an actual video for this, because it's just a small item. Here is a little Vati, I guess, key charm, cell phone charm, probably not a keychain figure. This is the villain for, I think it was the Four Swords, as well as the Minish Cap, Legend of Zelda games. Should clarify just in case people haven't heard of them. I played Minish Cap, really liked the character and his character design and stuff. He's a sorcerer who, just goes around causing trouble, turns into a monster at the end. Or Ganon-esque. Because, Ganon can totally be used as an adjective. Or a descriptor. Or what have you. But I mean, he's only about an inch tall, which, given that the character was originally a Minish, spoilers. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. It's actually almost to scale, I think. Cause like they're supposed to be like really tiny and stuff, and maybe 1 inch is probably proper. Cause I mean, in the game, it kind of looked like 1 inch was sort of to the point. It's like a 1-to-1 of the character, although technically this is based on his human sorcerer appearance, not the Minish sorcerer appearance. But I'm not getting nitpicky about it. It's just a neat little item. I thought I'd show them. Because I was running out of time to do stuff. But that's been my news and updates for the month of February. Not much news in there. Some updates, maybe. A lot of random talk. In fact, a lot of stuff that was previously announced some other point. So you're probably thinking, why did I do this video at all? Boredom, maybe. Whoa! Hold up. Don't go anywhere. I finally remembered why I was doing news and updates for the month of February. That's because there actually is real legitimate news. First off, like a ton of people have reported on this. Other stuff, not so much. But Playmates will be doing a new Ninja Turtles line. Heavily articulated figures. They look great. So far they look great. Actually, everybody's talked about this, but it's got a ton of points per articulation. It's done in the classic cartoon style. It's really all you need to know about it, because personally I know I'm going to run out and pick them up whenever they come out. But the news that other people have kind of missed, and by the way, all this is on tomopop.com right now, is that the D-Arts line put out by Bandai is doing a Zero from the Mega Man X2. They previously did a Zero, but because it was X1, no Z-Saber. This version comes with a saber, so that's more the Zero I know. So I mean, that's pretty cool news. Pre-orders for them did open up. It's kind of expensive. It's not that bad. I was thinking it's more than that, but 3,500 yen. It'll actually be less than that if you go on Ami and stuff. So generally, you'll probably end up paying over 40 bucks, but still. The biggest news, however, is that pre-orders finally open for the Figma Samus Aran, as well as the Zero Suit forget who put out the Zero Suit, but it's a static figure. I don't really care about it. The Figma, big news. If you remember the Figma line, I'll have to ask how, because I just remembered I've never reviewed a Figma. I keep meaning to do it. I keep almost doing it. But at the end of the day, just never gotten around to it, although I do reference it. But the line is a 5-inch line, sort of similar articulation to the SH Figuarts line, which I previously reviewed, although those are larger. Those are about the same 6-inch scale as other figures. But these, still really good quality, really decent looking. Samus, of course, is a character that a lot of fans have wanted a really decent articulated figure for a while, myself included. Now, while she won't be coming with a mini Metroid, which just kind of sucks, she does have a morph ball. And then I guess she's getting a little plasma attack, which honestly I don't care so much about. But the big thing is we are getting a Samus, and that's huge, huge, huge news. I've wanted one for a while, and this also just opens doors, raises questions, and what have you. Because if they're doing this at some point in the future, this means they might also do, say, I don't know, other Nintendo properties, like possibly The Legend of Zelda. I know I would love to see a really decent Link. We've had quite a few Links in the past. But, they just haven't had a tremendous amount of articulation. And of course, Ganon, Zelda, Sheik, I suppose. Zelda's alter ego. But that'd be really awesome. Mario series, probably not so much, because, the style doesn't really lend itself to Mario, but, Kid Icarus, that would be cool. Although Kid Icarus is a newer property and stuff. Well, it's an old property, but they're just starting to relaunch it, whereas Zelda's series been out forever. And I would love to see figures for it, especially in this line, because it's a pretty decent line. Pricey, a little bit though. You can order it, pre-orders opened on, I think it was AmiAmi, Hobby Link. Oda Cute's probably got it too. I think it's probably sold out in half of these too, because they stopped the pre-orders pretty early. Open the wrong one. There it goes. So the 3,600 yen, which works out to over 40 bucks, will probably be it's 2,800 yen or about. So this one, they don't have a price translator. Let me just look it up. I'm thinking it's about 40 bucks, but so yeah, I'm like 37 bucks. So yeah, I'm definitely picking this up. I will probably be reviewing it as soon as I get it. I know I've meant to review tons of Figmas in the past that I haven't gotten around to. Probably do those this year as well, but fortunately I lost the primers, so I filmed the box shots and stuff using PS3, done, gone. I did salvage some of the stuff, but a lot of that footage is just never coming back. But yeah, pretty cool news. This definitely was the whole reason I made this video that I forgot. But yeah, until next time, folks.